So Kristin Tattar seems to be pretty freaking good at the game of disc golf. Like, I knew she was good last year, but come on. She might literally win every single major championship this year. I don't want to jinx her, but is she on her way to being one of, if not, the greatest ever? She may be there already. Back at the beginning of the year, I made a video for the greatest FPO players of all time. Just like I did for the MPO side of things, it was formatted the same way. In order of importance, major wins, elite series wins, and then overall performances. Based off of her performances in only a few years, Tattar earned the number 9 spot. And you can go check it out if you disagree, which seemed to be a lot of people, but statistically, she was in the range of 8th to 12th, pretty much. A lot more players with more dominant seasons than her, but what Tattar did have was good enough to get the 9th spot. I did the same thing when rating the MPO GOATs. In the long run, major titles mean a lot more than just regular wins. And if you have more recently, that's also a factor of how good you are. And you guys can argue about this one, but even just like 10 years ago, FPO tournaments would have nobody there. It just wasn't as big as it is now, which means it's a lot harder to win now. Not taking anything away from the players in the 90s or the early 2000s. It's just that after what Kristin has done in 2023, she's moving up. But what has she accomplished this year so far? 2023 season, Waco, dub. Music City Open, dub. Blue Ridge Silver Series, dub. And that's just all leading up to Champions Cup, where Tattar was out for revenge. In 2023, she choked pretty hard on the final hole, handing the win to Paige Pierce. Wasn't going to happen this year as Tattar came out hot with the low score in round 1, and then the low score in round 2, and round 3. She had a 12-shot lead going into the final round, where she again would shoot the low round. Well, actually tying for the low round, but it doesn't really matter when you won by 14 freaking shots.
The winner of the 2023 PDJ Champions Cup and 3-time PDJ Major winner, Kristin Tattar!
Outright brilliance from Kristin.
Well, that's one major title down. As the gamers say, GG next. Portland Open, dub. Zootown Open, dub. Des Moines Challenge, dubski. PCS Sula Open, kinda close, but a dub.
Well, Annika has been the owner of this fantastic trophy over the last 3 seasons, and Tattar will take the shield and sword under her command.
Time for another major, the European Open. For the first 3 rounds, she was the only FPO disc golfer to shoot under par. As you can imagine, that would add up to another blowout win. Final round of 1 under par would give her a 16-stroke win. 16 shots, another major title, just looking unstoppable at major events.
It's not my goal to break records. It's just my passion to be out here, play well, execute these demanding shots, and I think I did such a good job out there. And yeah, I'm just so super happy that I managed to pull it off. As I said, it was just a huge dream of mine going into the season.
After the European Open, she would head over to the European Disc Golf Championships, and boom, another win. But all of this was priming her to defend her World Championship title, the biggest event every year in disc golf. Of all the majors she's played this year so far, this was the closest. But when you get off to a start like Tattar does, it's hard to catch. She had the low rounds in 1 and 2, and after that, it was only really Missy Gannon to catch her in the 5-round event. Coming within 1 shot of her in the 4th round, when on hole 14, Tattar would bogey and Gannon would birdie. Here's how Tattar responded on the next hole.
Tattar, no stranger to a nice linear forehand throwing orbit grace here. That looks so smooth.
Wow.
Yeah, kind of an unfortunate kick, I guess, but she's in the circle at 25.
Hole 17, Tattar for birdie to tie Gannon's birdie.
Kristin with an orbit rive here. Looking good.
Wow.
More than good.
That's so good.
It's perfect.
She's got it dialed.
After that, Gannon would struggle on the final hole, making a double bogey. Meanwhile, Tattar had this putt to push her lead going into that final round.
God.
Erica, respect for Kristin there.
Wow, what a clutch birdie on the second hardest hole of the day. There was only 4.
Wow.
After that finishing stretch, the momentum was with Tattar. She never flinched until she had to. Playing clean through the first 15 holes, Gannon played great, but Tattar was just too much to handle. She would double the final hole to win by 6 shots. 36 shots. That's how many Tattar has over second place in the first 3 majors of the 2023 season. What a season so far from Tattar.
How was, sometimes I come to the course and I feel like I'm not sure if I can play disc golf. And I don't know why that thought comes into my head. But sometimes it does. And it did yesterday as well. And today I was just telling myself, come on, you have done it before. You're the #1 player in the world. Why are you talking so negatively about yourself? Just do your thing, and whatever happens, happens. It doesn't matter.
With only one major left for the season, Tattar is a pretty big favorite. She has won the U.S. Women's Disc Golf Championship before, back in 2019. So she has the Grand Slam already, but she could get it done in one calendar year. Well, that's just something entirely different. Ever since there's been more than 2 majors a year for FPO, no disc golfer has ever accomplished that. Valerie Jenkins, Paige Pierce, Katrina Allen, no one. And those are the top names for my greatest of all time list. Majors were kind of all over the place for some years, but now that they are established like with what we have now, if Tattar accomplishes that, she's the most dominant player in the 2020s, and looking like she could rise up even more. So where is she at now on my GOAT list? Previously number 9, but after winning 3 more major titles and a bunch of Pro Tour events, if I redid that video, I would throw her up definitely in the top 5. Paige is the GOAT, so don't forget about it. She has the most major titles, and Valerie Jenkins is in second with 16. So that's a lot to try and catch. But for the rest of the top players like Allen, Redding, Korver, and King, Tattar is now in the conversation. At minimum, Tattar would be in 7th place right now. At max, I'd maybe give her 3rd. National Tour wins and Elite Series wins are up there too. And you can't take away anything from Korver and Redding, who won a bunch. So Tattar is a top 5 player of all time right now, but how much further can she go? Kristin's 31 and in her prime right now. How long does that last? How much longer does she have until she's challenged constantly at every event? She does lose, just not really at majors. 16 shots is a lot to win a major by, so how long until the other players are going to catch that kind of excellence? It's pretty much if Tattar plays good, she'll win. If she plays bad, she's like top 5 at the event. I think when we look back in 5 years, Tattar is going to be a top 3 player. I highly doubt she'll ever catch Paige in wins and Jenkins in majors, but something has to be said about her dominance in the most recent era of disc golf. Honestly, you can argue for her to be top 3 right now. It's just that she needs some more of everything. If she wins the US Open's title this year, that makes her the most dominant major title run in a year. Sweeping the major titles, she's one of the GOATs already, but can she become the greatest of all time? Time will tell, maybe.
Well, Kristin, you have another major left this season and an opportunity to win a Grand Slam for the entire year. Does the prospect of that excite you at all?
Yes, for sure. It would be a dream come true, and we'll see how it goes, but I'm just excited I pulled it off this week right now.
Well, congratulations, and there's so many...
Comment down below what you guys think. How great is Kristin Tattar already, and can she become one of, if not the best player to ever play disc golf? Like and subscribe and all that jazz, and we'll see you guys next time. Cheers.